And in the previous panel, we had quite a lot of interesting perspectives in the designs, the thoughts, the philosophies that go into, building cities for the future of India. Now, there's always a little look into the factors that are also unavoidable, the trends that are always present, and the ones that you need to factor into your planning decisions. Now, when we look at urban evolution, I'd like to start off with Manan. I'd like to start off with Vittal then. Moving from residential growth to commercial anchors, how are large format, commercial and mixed use developments redefining city centers? And are they also affecting consumption patterns in a similar manner?
Hello. As we all know that our cities are, one hand, our cities are growing. On the other hand, our world is shrinking in terms of course, the scale is the same, but we are coming closer. So in that context, human-centric, if you have to really look at from human-centric designs, what are people expecting in a person's life in a day? When they come to office, they work. Obviously, they want the best of the workplaces. Secondly, they want F&B, entertainment, hotels, sports. If all the needs are taken care at one place, that's the best place to work for. And that's what customers are expecting today. That's one side of the story. The other side of the story is who are your occupiers? Your occupiers are global players, and global players have global expectations. They expect nothing less than best. Nothing. That's their expectation. The multinational companies, large companies, global companies, they want, which is as per global standards. So if you have to cater to all that kind of requirement, you have to have mixed use is the only way forward. And at Phoenix, we have realized this maybe much earlier than compared to our peers in the industry. And most of our developments have been human-centric, have been mixed-used. Mixed use, we at Phoenix, we are pioneer in retail, and we have mastered that art of retail, mixing it with hotel, office, and even to some extent residential apartments wherever it's possible. So in true sense, we are coming up with some truly world-class mixed-use development, which is what is driving people and clients, global clients, and the best of the clients to our campuses. And I think the timing is fantastic because the clients' expectations have gone up, as I mentioned earlier. They are very happy to pay that top dollar because they want to be they want to be in a great location, they want to be in great development, where they don't have to struggle to get people back, particularly the supplies post-COVID situation, where people have had serious issues in companies, global companies had serious issues in getting people back to their office. Our kind of developments are, helping them get people back to their office. So mixed use is the way. And if you have to think from, as per global standards, you'll see world-class cities. Globally, you'll have underground metro station right there. Just you come out of it, come up, you have hotels, offices, residential, everything in one single tower. So similar concepts are coming up here in India. And we have started working on that journey. All our developments are on those lines. Yeah.
Truly. Now, most of the property ads that we see are quite mirroring what you just said. You'll see a mall in one corner, you'll see an office building, a data center in the back, and a couple of residential towers in the middle. Now, there's one aspect about Indian cities, and in particular Mumbai, is that it is land-starved. So Harish, in a land-starved city like Mumbai, redevelopment seems to be the only way forward. But it isn't always smooth sailing. What are the hurdles that are still slowing down this process?
Basically, initially there were a lot of policy issues, like before COVID and all. So that has streamlined many things, and it has become quite easier and faster than previously what it used to be. But still, like at the pace what we got the reforms done after particularly 2022, another set of reforms, like consistently there should be changes what is required to speed up the redevelopment. So that reforms has to be made by government in a very speedy way, and execution of the same has to be done immediately on a simultaneously basis. As like when we go for representations through associations to government and we get the reforms done, but the execution of the same has been getting very difficult as the time gap between the GR and a circular is so huge, so that it takes a lot of time to get executed. So that should be taken care of. Other than that, since like redevelopment now, there are many schemes. There are many approval authorities. We have SRA, we have MHADA, we have BMC. So a lot of schemes, there are clubbing schemes in SRA, there are clubbing schemes in BMC. So the schemes have already started, but the procedure for handover of the PTCs is still not there in place, which really halts the redevelopment in between. Like you give a permission to develop a in situ PTC or a PTC outside the plot. Like a scheme like 20B still doesn't have provisions in place how to hand over those PTC in order to get this project completed. So that all should be streamlined. Where else, other than the policy matters, there are few things if government standardize it as they've standardized in cluster schemes, in SRAs. So otherwise also if they standardize it, then it becomes very easier for a developer to go to the tenants, to the societies, to get that redevelopment done in a faster and a proper way. The scheme, there is no substandard matter. So a lot of developers keep on giving the offers, and then there are a lot of now kind of, पहले तो सिर्फ BMC में issues थे, अभी societies में भी issue होने लग गए. So like one never thought कि in a society also such kind of on a table or activism would start. So it's not a platform to actually say that. But that also is creating a bottleneck or a hurdle in future redevelopment, because a lot of cluster schemes have been promoted where it's very good. Cluster, like all mixed-use development can happen only in cluster. It cannot happen in a standalone building. So, and when mixed-use development is a potential which we can take it in cluster, so some policies should be streamlined in such a way that we can easily, now there's like on a first floor we can have an IT office, we cannot have the restaurants and all those things. So that all things can be taken care of. So in such a way, if government really takes care about all these things, redevelopment can be more faster, and redevelopment is the only way out left where, and it should be in such, the policies should be such कि ये क्यों redevelopment है? Why not? It's as good as the greenfield projects. So that also can help कि भाई there should not be a difference between a redevelopment and a greenfield project. So otherwise, things are like much better than what was before.
So a lot of hindrances from, you'd say, bureaucracy, and also the human factor is always there. But the government is taking some efforts in introducing new schemes, but things need to be streamlined. Now, I'd like to move on to Girish. Some investors are looking for a simpler path by going back to the fundamentals. Why is land suddenly emerging as a preferred asset class over built structures?
So when we started this discussion, as Sir rightly mentioned, the world is shrinking. Now, everyone knows that Earth's surface covers 30% land. But I don't think everyone knows that Maharashtra has only 0.00018% of the land which is available for future development. That's the scarcity that we are talking about. And this particular land parcel will be available for future development, which will be consumed by 15 crore population of Maharashtra. And hence people have understood that gold is one of the asset class, silver is one of the asset class, which probably can have ups and downs in terms of their pricing. However, when it comes to real estate people have not seen a nosedive of 25, 30, 40 odd %. in last 2 decades, 3 decades, or even in last 50 years. And hence people are going back to what their forefathers or ancestors did, started buying land first. And that's the foundation of real estate.
So Mumbai is definitely land-starved, and so is Maharashtra. Vikram, I'd like to take your thoughts on urban development. Can you tell us how Mumbai development is likely to shape up in the coming years?
See, the current government, the schemes that they have come out with, I think in the past few years, a lot of hurdles have been cleared out for mass mega projects to come up. If you look at overall over the years, especially if I talk of Mumbai region as such, the whole approach was to control development. And suddenly with all these schemes that have come up in the DCPR and even in the UDCPR, the entire focus is now to unlock and unleash the potential of land. If you look at empowerment, the way they've empowered SRA, the way they've empowered MHADA, SRA now has a special cell which deals with removal of non-consenting slum owners. And we recently, the associations had met with the CEO of SRA. They gave us examples where they've cleared major projects of these hurdles in less than 50 days. So these kind of approach that comes from this government right now, I see a lot of shift to mega projects happening. Cluster redevelopment is a big push as far as this government is concerned. And if you look at MHADA also, the land parcels, they're no more, giving approval for smaller land parcels. They ensure that a larger land parcel is developed. So now you hear of, couple of acres of development happening. So I think this is what is going to shape the future of redevelopment in the coming years, in my opinion.
Now, we've covered a lot of things, including human behavior, financing, looking at asset class in a completely different way, land starvation, and obviously the initiatives that are being taken by the government. But if we were to look at just one thing, this is from soil to skyscraper, just one factor, be it policy, infrastructure, lifestyle, or tech, which will be the single biggest architect of Western India's landscape by 2030? Anyone can take it. Okay, I'll repeat the question. If you had to pick one factor from policy, infrastructure, lifestyle, or tech, which will be the single biggest architect of Western India's landscape by 2030, which will it be?
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Right.
Infrastructure will play a very big and a major role. If we want to have life in Mumbai, infrastructure would be the architecture which we would really love to see in Mumbai or in Western India. As currently we can really see that what Coastal Road has played, the life which has been almost, it was dead because everybody shifted to BKC from Nariman Point. Again, that has put in life in South Mumbai. Atal Setu, again it has put life in South Mumbai. So as if infrastructure, now we are planning to take this to Versova, we are planning to take this to Chaco, we are planning to take this to Mira Bhayandar, and then of course to Vadhavan Port where the new port has been constructed. So infrastructure, if it's properly planned in the way it is going, and the government is really playing a major role in speedy development of infrastructure, so I see maybe another 50, 100 years life in city of Mumbai. And other than that, like for beautification and the landscaping part, greenery, environment, that also would play a major role. That also can be architect of Mumbai in order to have a better lifestyle, better improvement, and to have an standard as compared to some other cities in the world. So I feel infrastructure will play a major role.
We are definitely land starved, but we are also starved on time. But I see, Vittal, you have the mic in your hand. Is there something you like to add?
I think human-centric designs, capacity building. I think whatever infrastructure we are building today, it's not even good enough for today's requirement. if you start thinking maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from today, and what are the requirements going to be, and designs have to be human-centric, how people are going to communicate, how people are going to travel, how people are going to work, how people are going to live. If those things are keeping in mind, if you start building capacities and start respecting humans, and I mean, again, they'll use the word human-centric designs, infrastructure, this is the extension of what he said, yeah? Thanks.
Now, thank you, Manan, for also joining us. And there was this one question that I kept for you. From a regional developer's perspective, which micro markets in Western India show the strongest long-term growth potential today?
See, if you bottle down to Mumbai, today it's very difficult to point down a specific location because post-pandemic specifically, every single pocket has outperformed. But to bottle down, and if you want a specific answer, I feel Western suburb has been holistic right from Andheri all the way till, I would say, Mira Bhainder Daisar. You'll see that Western suburb has always outperformed in the past 10 years in terms of absorptions for two principal reasons. Western suburb I have seen mainly, including my own projects, has always been layouts, mainly. South Mumbai side, you'll see more skyscrapers coming in. So people's shift in terms of mindset, in terms of requiring more facilities, amenities, or walking spaces. So I see if you are a Western suburb lover, and overall as Western absorption in Mumbai city specifically, I have always seen Western outperforming the central and the eastern market. South Mumbai, yes, it's slightly more pricier. So sometimes it takes its own sweet time to convert into, like the TAT period is what we call. So the conversion time from typically which it used to be around a month or two has now gone up because the options have also increased. But Western, I feel, because there are larger land parcels available, good layouts available, good developers are working across the city, I've always seen that bottling up.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. And with that, I believe time's up, like the big board says over there. Thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us for this very insightful panel. And we'd like a round of applause for our esteemed panelists. Thank you.